The whole thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for
Jake Paul's win against Mike Tyson sure left all the talk as expected, but it seems that things were more complicated than they appeared. As both fighters enjoy their millions outside the ring, there's disturbing emerging truth about how the fight went down.
If it is. I never said this before, Ken. You know that.
That's right.
But because I think all these fights are legitimate, and they are, and have been. But this one makes me wonder.
Apparently, there were rules we fans didn't know of, like uppercuts being not allowed in the fight. And just this alone is bringing around unwanted legal attention from all the corners. Let's catch you up.
Not a possible way it could be scripted. When you got a 58-year-old old legend in there that isn't going to give it 110% for all 8 rounds like it did back in the day. So what Jake Paul did was just stay at bay, stay at bay, stay at that jab, throw a few hard shots.
Jake Paul's fight with Mike Tyson wasn't just about punches. It's now the center of a storm involving angry fans, frustrated bettors, and legal experts who think something wasn't right. What was supposed to be an exciting event has left people feeling cheated, and there's growing talk of lawsuits over how the fight went down.
So what do you think of the fight?
It wasn't a good one.
Wasn't a good one. Yeah.
From the opening bell, things looked promising. Tyson, at 58 years old, came out strong in the first 2 rounds, showing some of the skills that once made him a feared heavyweight champion. But after that, the energy shifted. Tyson began to look tired, and Paul, 27 years old and in his prime, didn't press the attack. Instead of going for a knockout, Paul held back, taunted Tyson at times, and even bowed to him before the fight was over. It wasn't the kind of performance people had paid to see, and it wasn't what bettors expected.
As soon as I catch this guy, it's gonna be running around. But as soon as I catch this guy, it's gonna be totally over.
What really lit the fire, though, were Paul's comments after the fight. Speaking at the post-fight press conference, Paul admitted he carried Tyson during the fight. "I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt," Paul said. He explained that when he saw Tyson getting tired, he decided to ease up. "The violence war thing between us kind of went away as the rounds went on," Paul added.
At any point, did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you noticed he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a bit. You know, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
Did you carry Mike?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
For a lot of people, this confirmed their worst suspicions. The fight, marketed as a serious competition, now seemed more like an exhibition put together to make money. Bettors, in particular, feel betrayed. Many had bet heavily on Paul to win by knockout, a result that seemed likely given Tyson's age and the physical demands of boxing. Instead, they got into a fight where the younger, stronger fighter admitted he didn't try to finish it.
I always want to see Mike fight.
Yeah. Is this kind of what you expected?
He didn't get off fast.
What could he done different?
Dan Lust, another sports lawyer who recently got dragged in the whole story, believes this could lead to serious legal consequences for both Mike and Paul. The expectation was this was going to be a real fight sanctioned by Texas, Lust said. He pointed out that Paul's comments about holding back and carrying Tyson could be used as evidence in a lawsuit. "Would it shock me if there is a class action lawsuit? No," Lust said.
As far as the boxing fight, it wasn't a fight, it was a tip and tap, don't hit me, I won't hit you, circle the ring a little bit, make it look good. That's all it was. So I don't really make too much of it.
The numbers make the situation even more serious. Reports say the Tyson-Paul fight drew 4 times more betting action than any other recent matchup. Bettors were banking on a real fight with a clear outcome, not a glorified sparring match. Lust noted that while most lawsuits by gamblers get thrown out, this case is different because Paul wasn't just a fighter. He was also a promoter. He helped organize the event and played a key role in shaping its rules.
He's a legend. He's the greatest to ever do it. He's the GOAT. I look up to him. I'm inspired by him, and we wouldn't be here today without him.
These rules, too, are under scrutiny. The fight featured shorter rounds and custom gloves, changes that were marketed as ways to make the fight safer for Tyson. but critics now see them as part of a larger plan to protect the aging legend and ensure the fight went the distance. Adding to the controversy, retired NFL star Michael Irvin, a friend of Tyson, revealed that there might have been a rule against throwing uppercuts, a move Tyson is famous for. "I was looking for that patent one in the body, one on the uppercut, but we didn't get that. Not a single one," Irvin said. He claimed this restriction might have been written into the fight's contract, raising more doubts about how genuine the fight really was. Tyson's health also became a factor in the controversy. The fight was delayed for months because of Tyson's medical issues, which turned out to be far more serious than first reported. Tyson later revealed that he had suffered from a bleeding ulcer, lost over 25 pounds in less than 2 weeks, and needed multiple blood transfusions. Despite these issues, the fight went ahead, leading some to question whether it should have been sanctioned at all. Paul's role as both a promoter and fighter is a key part of the debate. Lust explained that people trusted the fight's legitimacy because it was sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. Otherwise, the general population wouldn't have bet on it, Lust said. If it turns out the fight was staged more for entertainment than competition, it could lead to serious consequences for those involved. Bettors aren't the only ones upset. Fans who paid to watch the fight also feel let down. Paul, who reportedly earned $40 million from the event, has been accused of turning boxing into a spectacle rather than a sport. While some people admire his ability to draw attention and sell tickets, others see him as a symbol of everything wrong with modern boxing.
Crazy Mike, though. He don't care. But he didn't care when he was undefeated, as you know what I'm saying, a youngin'. He didn't care then. He would have took an L then, you know what I'm saying? Mike don't care about the whole staying undefeated or having a great record or any of that. He ain't undefeated, I'm saying, but I'm saying at that time, even when he was, and he was knocking everybody out, he's like, yo, if I take an L, I take an L. Yeah, when he lost to Buster Douglas.
Critics argue that the fight was designed to maximize profits while minimizing risks, especially for Tyson. By avoiding a knockout and making the fight seem competitive, both fighters walked away with big paychecks. But this approach has left a sour taste in the mouths of many fans and bettors who expected a real contest. The potential lawsuits could focus on several issues: Paul's comments about carrying Tyson, the unusual rules of the fight, and the role of the TDLR in sanctioning the bout despite Tyson's health concerns. Lust believes Paul's admissions at the press conference have made the situation worse. "Paul taking bows and not fighting to the last minute, the optics are just odd," he said.
Oh, wow.
Tyson's final victory.
And that's the same thing Oscar De La Hoya sees. The idea of Jake Paul's fight being scripted is nothing new. In fact, they seem to follow Paul wherever he goes in the boxing ring. But this time, the claims have gotten louder, and it's not just fans raising eyebrows. The fight was officially sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, and with an unprecedented number of bets placed on the outcome, the event had all the hallmarks of legitimacy. The promotion, of course, strongly denied any accusations of scripting. But skepticism has only grown, with people pointing to the way the fight played out. Tyson, a former world champion known for his devastating power, seemed unusually restrained, while Paul, instead of going for a decisive finish, appeared to hold back in key moments.
You say you want to be a world champion. You say you want to take this sport serious. Then take it serious.
Oscar De La Hoya isn't buying it. Speaking out on Instagram, the former multi-division world champion didn't mince words. "Everybody is talking about how staged this fight was. I do believe it was scripted, and I believe that Tyson was certainly held back," he said. "For De La Hoya, the signs were obvious. Look, I'm a fighter and I can see it. It goes on their record and it was sanctioned. Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record. For what? For your own personal satisfaction?"
Seconds of the fight. It was wishful thinking for all those idiots who thought they were going to get Mike Tyson of the 90s come out and rip somebody's head off.
De La Hoya's critique didn't stop there. He questioned Paul's approach to building a career in boxing. "If you want to be a real fighter like you say you want to be, what are you doing? Who's next? Joe Biden?" His words cut deep, pointing to a growing frustration among traditional boxing fans and fighters who see Paul's carefully curated matchups as more spectacle than sport. "You have to fight real fighters. De La Hoya added, echoing what many have said since Paul first entered the ring. While De La Hoya was scathing about the main event, he did give credit where it was due, to the business side of the event and the co-main attraction, the thrilling rematch between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
Jake, you're a spectacular marketer, my man. After only a few years in the sport, you managed to get yourself an enormous payday.
The two put on a fight that reminded everyone what real competition looks like in the ring. The fight drew 65 million households, which means roughly 200 million eyeballs were watching, De La Hoya noted. The real winners were Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, who put on an incredible real fight and were introduced to new fans around the world. For Tyson, this fight was his farewell. At 58 years old, he confirmed it would be his last time stepping into the ring. Fans had hoped for a competitive and emotional send-off, but for many, the fight felt hollow, overshadowed by questions of its authenticity and Paul's controversial comments about carrying Tyson during the bout.
You don't think Tyson is a serious opponent for him?
Come on. 61 years. I saw him the other day. I love Tyson. I told him
he can punch.
Of course. He's got a puncher's chance the first 3 rounds. I'm a little scared of Tyson getting hurt after the third.
As for Paul, he moves forward with an 11-1 professional record, now facing a new wave of criticism and challenges. He's been called out by some of the biggest names in boxing, and the pressure is mounting for him to step up and fight opponents who are in their prime and genuinely capable of testing his skills. But perhaps the biggest loss for Tyson is his behinds being flashed on live TV for the whole world to see. And this has only gotten far much worse. After losing to Jake Paul in an 8-round bout, Tyson now finds himself the subject of a sad proposition from a Las Vegas club, Kings of Hustler, and the request? Flash his bare bottom again for just 100,000 pounds. It all began when Tyson, wearing cowboy chaps during a Netflix promotional segment, accidentally exposed more than expected. Viewers were stunned, and social media exploded with reactions, from laughter to disbelief. But if Tyson thought the moment would fade into the chaos of fight night, he underestimated just how far some people would go to capitalize on the spectacle. Kings of Hustlers general manager Brittany Rose has publicly extended the offer, framing it as a lighthearted invitation for Tyson to embrace his playful side. The pitch: show up to the club's cowboy Christmas party, expose the same view, and, in their words, a banana hammock. According to Rose, the club believes Tyson's bold personality is perfect for the festive event. We've been in the business of entertaining and pushing boundaries for years, Rose said. We think Mike Tyson's playful side is exactly what our cowboy Christmas party needs. Plus, we think it'll be a night to remember for everyone in attendance. The hefty sum on the table, 100,000 pounds, is tempting, especially given the relatively simple requirements of the job. Tyson would just need to make an appearance, embrace the theme, and play along with the outrageous spirit of the party. For a man who once ruled the heavyweight division, it's a surreal invitation to say the least. But the idea of Tyson bearing his behind again, especially in light of the intense scrutiny he's faced recently, paints a complicated picture. On one hand, this could be a chance for the 58-year-old to laugh at himself and lean into his larger-than-life persona. On the other hand, some argue it's a sad reflection of how far the former champion has been pushed in the public eye, with people seemingly more interested in his antics than his legacy. Tyson's decision to even step back into the ring at his age was already a polarizing topic. He's been open about his recent health struggles, revealing that he nearly died in June after suffering a severe health scare that included 8 blood transfusions and significant weight loss. Despite these challenges, Tyson fought Jake Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer nearly half his age, in front of a packed stadium. It was supposed to be his final moment of glory, a chance to show his children and fans that he could still hold his own. This is one of those situations where you lost but still won, Tyson reflected after the fight. I'm grateful for last night. No regrets to get in the ring one last time. To have my children see me stand toe-to-toe and finish 8 rounds with a talented fighter half my age in front of a packed Dallas Cowboy Stadium is an experience that no man has the right to ask for.
Different date, same fate. I'ma knock out Jake Paul.
While Tyson seemed proud of his performance, the fight itself was met with mixed reactions. Critics pointed out Paul's reluctance to finish Tyson off, fueling accusations that the match lacked authenticity. Tyson, however, didn't let the noise affect his gratitude for the experience. "I almost died in June," he shared. "Had 8 blood transfusions, lost half my blood, and 25 pounds in the hospital. I had to fight to get healthy, so I won."
For culture, and there he comes. What a sight. Iron Mike looking to do what millions...
Jake Paul also had kind words for Tyson post-fight. "Love you, Mike," Paul wrote on social media. "It was an honor. You're an inspiration to us all." Still, the surreal nature of Tyson's journey continues. The Las Vegas offer puts him in an odd position. Does he take the payday and lean into the quirky, or does he step back from the spotlight to preserve what's left of his iconic image? The irony of being paid £20 million for a fight only to be offered £100,000 to flaunt his rear end isn't lost on anyone watching.
What the fuck is up, you Irish cunt? Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now, or maybe you're jacking off because you're sick of fucking your wife. I mean, she's a 4, Conor. You could do a lot better, but happy Monday. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. $50 million cash, proof of funds. The biggest fight offer you've ever been offered, but you're scared to fight me, Conor. You're done.
Meanwhile, Paul's victory has put him on a different trajectory. Names like Canelo Alvarez and Daniel Dubois are floating as potential opponents, though Paul's camp seems more interested in a high-profile bout with MMA star Conor McGregor. As Paul plots his next career move, Tyson faces a decision of a different kind, whether to embrace this peculiar offer or quietly close the chapter on an unforgettable few weeks.
I wasn't at all surprised by the result. I think Mike Tyson is a winner either way.
Jake's asked for a fight with you.
If Jake wants it with me, he can get it too. But I'm the world champion. Yeah. Give him a shot like that, you know.
You'll just knock him out in the first round, within the first minute.
Of course, but it would be a historical moment, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Never before.
The Kings of Hustler offer, while unconventional, might symbolize something bigger. For a fighter who once dominated the sport, Tyson's modern-day relevance has taken a strange turn. From health battles and legal drama to comical propositions, his story continues to be one of reinvention and resilience. Whether he accepts the Las Vegas club's invitation or not, one thing is clear. Mike Tyson's name will never stop making headlines, no matter how unexpected they might be.
People who are out there saying, we think Mike's too old for this fight. Tell them what you think about that.
If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face.
Whoa.
Teddy Atlas, the legendary boxing analyst known for his no-nonsense takes, has also shared his perspective on how Jake Paul handled Mike Tyson during their fight. Speaking candidly on his podcast, Atlas didn't shy away from the controversial notion that Paul might have carried Tyson through the bout. His comments have sparked even more debate about the integrity of the fight and what may have been going on behind the scenes. "Yeah, I think he did," Atlas said, addressing the idea that Paul deliberately held back. He raised several possible reasons for this approach, leaving no stone unturned. The most pressing question, according to Atlas, was whether this was premeditated. Was it premeditated? That's what we have to figure out, he said, before diving into potential motivations. Atlas speculated that Netflix, as a major stakeholder in the event, might have played a role in influencing the fight's tone. Was it because Netflix told him? Did these guys say, wait a minute, do we want to risk a 58-year-old in the ring and have liability that, God forbid, he gets hurt? Atlas's words reflected the lingering concerns many had about the ethics of allowing a man of Tyson's age and health history to compete against someone as young and physically prime as Paul.
Is this possibly the last time for you?
I don't think so.
You've got more in you. Who comes to mind?
Well, I don't know. Maybe his brother.
You want to fight Logan? Logan, I think he said you might be next.
Motherfucker, I'll kill you, Mike.
No, please don't.
The analyst then offered another possibility, the idea of a prearranged agreement. How do you get around it? One way would be to have a script, to have an agreement that nobody's going to hurt the other guy. he explained. Atlas stopped short of outright accusing the event of being staged, but his comments were loaded with suspicion. I'm not saying it was, but I am saying this. Paul led up. Another angle Atlas explored was Paul's possible admiration for Tyson. Did Jake Paul just feel sorry for a guy that could have been his idol? A guy that has been iconic and a great fighter? Did he just feel bad and have mercy on him? The notion of a younger fighter showing deference to an aging legend adds an emotional complexity to the fight, but it also raises questions about the authenticity of Paul's performance. The analyst then offered another possibility, the idea of a prearranged agreement. How do you get around it? One way would be to have a script, to have an agreement that nobody is going to hurt the other guy, he explained. Atlas stopped short of outright accusing the event of being staged, but his comments were loaded with suspicion. I'm not saying it was, but I am saying this. Paul led up. Another angle Atlas explored was Paul's possible admiration for Tyson. Did Jake Paul just feel sorry for a guy that could have been his idol? A guy that has been iconic and a great fighter? Did he just feel bad and have mercy on him? The notion of a younger fighter showing deference to an aging legend adds an emotional complexity to the fight, but it also raises questions about the authenticity of Paul's performance.